Hi, everybody. My name is Andrea Bierman, and this is the Learning Bear podcast, your resource for wild professional development. Today's topic, you've got a friend in me. Cue the Toy Story music. So this is all about relationships. Life is complicated, and it is an intricate web of relationships. You have a different relationship with your significant other than you do with your kids, than you do with your boss, than you do with your parents. It's all about balance and cooperation. Sometimes it's competition as well. If it's, your coworkers, it's very intricate. It's not even an all black or white situation. Very often it's shades of gray. Okay. Same is true in nature. There are three relationships in nature we're going to talk about. The first is commensalism, where one organism benefits and one organism is not benefited or harmed. They're just kind of meh in the situation. The second one is mutualism, which is when both parties benefit. And then the last one is where one benefits and one does not, and is usually harmed. So, kind of a fun example, my parents have had 3 dogs, and 2 of their dogs protected their goats. They had a dog named Biscuits in with the male goats, a female dog in with the female goats, and then they had a dog that lived in the house. Okay, Biscuits, Peaches, and Buttercup. Buttercup was in the house. Okay, so commensalism. Peaches would protect the goats, but the goats didn't really pay her. Okay, they didn't really care if she was there or not. They liked her service, but they didn't do anything. Like, they didn't give her gifts or anything, right? Peaches did her job, but she wasn't harmed and she wasn't benefited. Mutualism. My mom's dog, Buttercup, lives in the house, and Buttercup benefits because she has a nice, cozy, warm place to live with food and water always on hand. And my mom benefits because she has somebody to take care of. Both of her kids are out of her house, and she needs somebody to take care of. Once you're a mom, you're always a mom. And she's definitely Buttercup's mom, human mom. And then the last relationship is parasitism. Biscuits protects the goats, just like Peaches did, but the male goats like to steal her food. So she is not benefiting in that relationship at all. And the goats are getting 2 benefits for the price of 1. Some relationships from nature, commensalism would be barnacles and whales. Barnacles have a nice place to live. Whales aren't being bothered. Mutualism, bees and flowers are working together. Bees are pollinating for the flowers, but they're also getting the payment of nectar. Mutualism would be ticks and deer. Ticks are sucking the blood of a deer. Deer are getting sick or losing blood. Okay? Very simple examples. Unfortunately, like I mentioned before, relationships are multifaceted. They have lots of layers to them. It's not gray, or it's not black and white. It's typically shades of gray. So think about the relationships in your life. Okay? Just an example, I have a relationship with a friend where, we both benefit because we know that the other one is always there. If I need something, she can call me. If she needs something, she can call me. However, sometimes when I go to visit her, because I don't live in the same place she does, I get the short end of the stick, okay? I'm the one that always has to go to her. I'm the one that's spending the extra time and money, and she just kind of lives in her house, okay? So she benefits, I do not, when it comes to that sort of part of our relationship where we visit in person versus on the phone. So it can also be that I view it as parasitism in that example that I described, but she still sees it as a mutual benefit. Okay, so perspectives can determine what the relationship is like, and the parameters of the relationship can determine what the relationship is like in that moment. Project Wild has a really great example of the monarch butterflies and their relationship with milkweed. Monarch butterflies benefit the milkweed plant species because they pollinate for them. And so in that way, it's kind of a beneficial relationship for both because then the monarchs lay their eggs there. So Monarchs benefit for a home for their larvae. Milkweed benefits because they get pollinated. But monarchs lay their eggs, and then the eggs, the larvae, they eat the plant. So it's mutualism up front, and then on the back door, it's parasitism. So it's very complicated. So I mentioned Project Wild. Project Wild is an environmental education curriculum and activity guide for grades K through 12. It's a program of the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies. And they have this activity called Good Buddies in their terrestrial manual, where students can learn about these different relationships and identify animals that have that relationship and describe them and learn about competition and cooperation. So the manual has cards, Good Buddy cards. They're pairs, say like there's like a barnacle card and a whale card, or a bee card and a flower card. Okay, and you're trying to find those pairs. So you, as a teacher, you would make copies of these cards and hand them out one to every student, and they would try to find their buddy. And it's a really good icebreaker if you need an icebreaker for like a professional development thing or a summer camp, whatever. But it's also, once they find their pair, you can, if you're in a classroom situation, you can have them research that pair and talk about the advantages, disadvantages, figure out what kind of relationship it is, etc. And so it becomes a research project. Then the second part of the game is you divide your group up into like kids of 5 or 6 kids or so. You have several decks of these cards, and they play a game, which is kind of a mashup of Old Maid and Rummy. Everybody deals the cards out to everybody, and whoever's the left of the dealer, you rotate clockwise, and each player draws one card from the player to the left. And they draw a card, say they get the whale card, and they have barnacles in their hand. They put that pair together, and they lay it down on the table. And you just keep continuing all the way around until everybody has their pairs made. Then there's some fun extensions that Project Wild also offers. You can make your own deck of cards using local species, which would be really great. And you could throw in some invasives in there, which could be fun. You could turn it into a dating game where students can write their own dating ad. If a bee is looking for that special flower, what would that ad look like? Oh, I want a flower that has long yellow petals and bulbous yellow center, or whatever. I don't know. Whatever bees want. They can also examine the difference between predation and parasitism and, figure out what that distinction is. Okay. So this is just one of many activities that you could do when you're talking about relationships, and Project Wild offers that to you. If you have any questions about Project Wild, you're more than welcome to contact me or get on their website at projectwild.org. If you have any questions for me that I can try to answer or push you into the right direction, you're more than welcome to contact me at learningbearpodcast@gmail.com. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this nice short podcast. See you later. Bye.